So let's have a look at the student answer. Outline 2 reasons for ethnic differences in criminal conviction rates. It was a 4-mark question on paper 3. So looking at the mark scheme, you were asked for 2 reasons for ethnic differences in criminal conviction rates. So you will get a mark for the reason, stating what that is. That will be called the identification mark. And the second mark will be the explanation, where it is stating why it is leading, that reason is leading to a difference in criminal conviction rates. So as you can see, there are a range of possible reasons that you could have identified. So things like the police are racist. This could even include institutional racism, police using typifications or stereotypes. That would all come under that bullet point number 1. Second bullet point is your left realist explanation. So many ethnic minority groups are relatively deprived, living in poverty, might be the poorest fifth of the population, for example, so they're more likely to commit robbery, theft, utilitarian crimes, which come under that umbrella term. Ethnic minorities have a younger average age profile, and we know that according to statistics that younger people are more likely to offend anyway. And then finally, ethnic groups are more likely to commit crimes against the person. So that's hinting at street crime, for example, where there might be a witness. So you are more likely to be detected, basically. So as you can see, I've showed you a picture of the student answer, just so you can see that it's a real life student answer. And what I really like about it is that it starts off in the first sentence, 1 reason for differences, and then they explain it, and then they start on a new line and they do a little indentation. Another reason might be. So that's really good for the examiner, because they can clearly see that you've given 2 reasons and they have wrote the right amount as well, because it is only worth 4 marks. So you shouldn't be really spending more than possibly 6 minutes on this. 5 minutes probably is an average. So you can see what the student has written. So 1 reason for ethnic differences in criminal conviction rates is that more black people are stopped and searched than white people are. So you've got that identification point. They're more likely to be arrested and convicted as police officers use stereotypes. The second reason is institutional racism, where the institutions that convict criminals are biased and ultimately racist. A white person is more likely to be let off with a lenient sentence, while a black person is stereotyped. So you might want to pause it now, look back at the mark scheme. I'll show you. What mark do you think that student got? So looking at the mark scheme, this student got 2 marks in total. Both of their explanation points is bullet point number 1, both talking about the police being racist and stopping and searching and detecting certain groups, ethnic minority groups, are more likely to be detected than the white counterparts. Now, a point to notice is that the way this student gets the 2 marks is actually from the 2 different points that they make. So the examiner has underlined institutional racism. So that is the identification point for bullet point number 1. Yeah, racist policing. But the explanation point is underlined in the first point about black people are more likely to be stopped and searched, they're more likely to be arrested and convicted, they're more likely to be detected. And that is the identification point that this examiner has awarded. So even if it's not in the same point, but the identification point and the explanation point is there, you will be credited on that. So this examiner has given 2 out of 4. So I hope you found this video really useful for you, because it really does show how the examiner looks through a student answer, how they apply the mark scheme, especially when there are points that are very, very similar. And that even when sometimes the identification point might be in 1 bullet point and the explanation might appear somewhere else in the answer, and that can be actually credited.